So the KLR has busted off these bolts again on the rack. If you can focus on the rack there. Second time it's done it, so don't know what I'm going to do. I haven't even carried any weight on it much yet, but I don't know what I'm going to do to fix it. But got a handful of ideas, but I'll see how they work, and as it progresses I'll let you know. But just got to get out that broken bolt in there. Okay, I've got the little sucker out eventually. So now I don't know what I'm going to do. Drill through it, but you can't really drill through it. So I'm not too sure, but I'll have to have a think about it. Okay guys, what I'm doing, I'm using this chisel, sharpened it up, and I'm just knocking the nuts out from inside there. I'll get the torch and you can see the little square nut. That's the one that's stripped. And I was going to drill straight through, but the clowns have made that offset, so otherwise I would have drilled right through to the other side. So I've managed to knock out, sorry for the camera work, I've managed to knock out this side perfectly, as you can see. And I'll use one of these nuts and I'll just slip him under there, and I'll probably secure it with something, because I'm not sure if I can get my fingers on it when it's not together, but I'll secure it with something in there. And that's high tensile, so that should solve this stripping problem and make it fixed once and for all. I'll try and get the other side out, and I'll let you know how I go. What I'm going to do here is just a little bit of araldite just to hold those nuts in place. And you see I've just put them up under there and then screwed that. That's just going to hold them up tight until it sets. And once it sets, it should stick in there. That stuff's pretty good. I've used it for securing metal to metal in cars before on full drives. So let's see if this works. So I've had to modify it a little bit. I put araldite, that didn't work so well as expected, but what I've done now, if I can focus there, I've actually drilled through into the frame, because part of the issue was the bolts would bottom out on the tube and burr the thread. So I've actually drilled into the frame so the bolts can actually be a bit longer. Gives me a few more options if I'm on the road and need a bolt. So I've actually got the bolt going through into the frame, and I have just set them up there tight. And what I've done is I've just put JB weld in there to hold the nut. So that squishes around the nut, will stop it turning, and also hold it in place, I'm hoping. So I'm not sure if you can see in there, but as you can see I've just squished it in there, and it's around the nut. So we'll see how that goes, and yeah, give it a couple of minutes and that'll be set hard, and then we'll see how it goes as far as holding everything in place. And I've fixed up, made another bracket for the exhaust pipe and lowered all that for the panniers, so slowly rushing to get it ready for this weekend. So I've reattached the rack, the two bolts that hold that rack on, and I've done it with hex heads this time rather than the Allen key heads, and I had to grind in the socket to fit in the recess there, but that's why they had Allen heads in there, because of that recess. But this should be much stronger and much easily available, and these are grade 8 or 10 proper high tensile bolts, so hopefully this will allay what's going on. So a couple of more modifications to make with how the box goes on. I'm actually going to make these accessible while the box is on. That should allow me to keep an eye on them a bit better, and even possibly even change them out on the run without taking everything apart. We'll see how we go from here, and hopefully next bit of video we'll have it all mostly back on. Okay, as you can see, I've made those holes so you can get to them. I've also made these holes a bit bigger so I can actually pack them out with washers rather than squashing the plastic between the bolt, because that might have been creating the movement that was snapping off these bolts. So I'll pack all that out with just enough squash so it holds the case tight. So that will be the next job. Okay, got it all back on. So I can get to these bolts now and tighten them up. They're tight. I've put spacers, the thickness of the plastic under there, so that's all tightened down to steel on steel. There's no plastic in between, so nothing should move. And it still moves a little bit on those front bolts, which is a bit of a worry, but I'll have a look at that. But yeah, it seems pretty robust. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, she's all back together. Ready to give it another crack. All seems solid. Pretty a lot solider than it was, so that's a good thing. So I'll stick the panniers on after I give her a wash, and we'll be right to go.